What's going on, guys? It's Steve. So the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks face off yet again this season. And every single time that they've played each other this season, the New York Knicks have got absolutely, positively embarrassed. It's not even a question how bad these teams defeated, how bad the Cavaliers defeated the New York Knicks. So, with Kevin Love injured, and then on top of that, you have Kyrie and LeBron and just coming back from All-Star break, and Melo coming back from All-Star break, not being traded and things like that. Today's a trade deadline. Melo didn't get traded. So what's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know if the Knicks are good enough to make the NBA playoffs, to push for the NBA playoffs. Because if you think about it, the New York Knicks, they have a long, long final 25 games to go against, the rest of the league. If you look at the New York Knicks, they are currently 12th in the Eastern Conference. Now, they could easily jump up to around 9th with 2 wins, hoping that the Pistons, the Bucks, Miami, and Charlotte start losing. The Knicks, they're not that far behind 8th seed. Really, they're just like 4 games behind 8th seed. So it is definitely possible. The only hope that the Knicks are two things are going to have to happen if the Knicks are going to make the playoffs. 2 things. Carmelo Anthony is going to have to play like he's been playing so far this year in terms of 2017. He can't play like he was playing in 2016. In the beginning of the season, he needs to play like he's been playing since 2017, averaging 26, 27 points per game since January 2017. That's the Melo we need. On top of that, we need Derrick Rose to stay healthy. We need Joakim Noah to play good. We need Kristaps Porzingis to pick it up because since the All-Star break, since New Year's, Porzingis has played awful. We need everyone to stay healthy and just know their role and know their place. We need Coach Hornacek to keep up these. He's been having pretty solid rotations lately. To keep up these solid rotations, play Melo more in the fourth quarter, rest him more in the first half. We need all of these things to come into play, and they just have to want it. Like Melo said, the teams, they just have to want it. The team just needs to want to win because they have the potential to win. Like you guys told me, on paper, this team has a really good roster, but for some reason they just don't mesh well together, and it's very frustrating. Okay, it's extremely, extremely frustrating. Like honestly, 23-34, that's ridiculous, man. They're 14-15 at home, 9-19 on the road. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games. That's absolutely awful. They jumped from a 2nd seed in the East all the way down to 12th seed in the span of 3 months. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely terrible. Okay, that cannot happen. I think the Knicks started the season 16-13. Melo's averaging 23, 6-3. Pretty solid numbers. For his standard, not so good, but it's still pretty solid numbers. The Knicks need to have their energy up. They need to get in the rhythm, and they need to play like they want it. Derrick Rose has to go hard. I don't need 25 point per game MVP Derrick Rose, but keep doing what you're doing. Stay healthy, stay consistent, and go hard. Brandon Jennings, slow down with those turnovers. Go hard. Everyone needs to just slow down and go hard, and I guarantee you the Knicks can make the playoffs because, again, they're only 4 games out of 8th seed. And if you want to talk about higher seeds, realistically, the highest seed that they can catch up to is the 6th seed, and they're 6 games behind the Indiana Pacers at the 6th seed. So that's just, just saying the possibility, the highest possibility, because let's be real, they're not going to catch up to the Hawks, who are nearly 10 games ahead of them, and Toronto 11 games, and Washington 12 games, and Boston 15, and Cleveland, which is ridiculous, they're 17 games behind. So the chances of catching up to those teams are just out of the picture at this point, unless the Knicks go 25-0 and all these teams start losing every single game, which ain't going to happen. So realistically, the closest seed they can catch is around a 6th seed, which is 6 games behind, but that's assuming that the Pacers are going to lose and start losing and things go wrong, which I hope nothing goes wrong with the Pacers, because I do want to see Paul George in the playoffs. I want to see Melo in the playoffs. I want to see LeBron in the playoffs. I want to see Isaiah Thomas in the playoffs. I want to see John Wall, DeRozan, and Lowry with their new acquisition of Serge Ibaka. Don't forget that Jonas Valanciunas is a really good player. I want to see all of these great players in the playoffs. Okay, so the Knicks have a great chance to make it, but they just need to want it, man. They need to want it, and they need to go hard because, honest to God, I watch every single Knicks game, and sometimes we lose because, we're just, we get outplayed, and not really outplayed, but sometimes we lose because it seems like we don't care. That's honestly what it seems like. It seems like we don't care. So here's our schedule coming up. We have the Cavs tonight. We have the 76ers. And then we have the Toronto Raptors, then the Orlando Magic, then the Sixers again, then the Warriors. So out of those games, we can beat Philly, twice. We can beat Orlando. We could potentially beat the Toronto Raptors. Every game is a possibility to win, but realistically, we're probably going to lose to the Cavs. We can beat the Philadelphia 76ers. I say we could beat the Toronto Raptors. We could beat Orlando. We can beat Philly. Okay? We'll probably lose to the Golden State Warriors. Then we have the Orlando Magic up. And then March 8th, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. Then the Pistons. Then the Nets. Then the Pacers. Then the Nets. So this next stretch, literally there are only 2 games that we should lose. And those 2 games are to the Cavaliers and to the Warriors. Every other team we should at least fight, like the Toronto Raptors or Pacers. But even if we lose to those, the Philadelphia 76ers, Orlando Magic, Milwaukee Bucks, the Brooklyn Nets twice, we should be winning these games, honestly. These are must-win games within this next stretch. And honestly, I think we can do it. And I think this whole next stretch, these next 25 games, we will be good. It's a easy, not easy, nothing's easy, but with the rest that Melo's getting and next stretch that we're gonna get, the future looks absolutely bright for the New York Knicks. It does, okay? Because, well, I wouldn't say future, but right now, the next 25 games looks bright for the New York Knicks. And the reason why I say that is because everyone seems nice and healthy for finally, we got Derrick Rose, which is a good thing. And there were trade speculations about Derrick Rose for Ricky Rubio. I'm happy that didn't happen. But anyway, so I'm going to now evaluate each player and tell you what I think. Like I said, Carmelo Anthony, 23 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. He's playing really good. He's only 2 turnovers per game. He's shooting 44% from the field, 38% from the 3, and 82% from the free throw line, which is good. Kristaps Porzingis, 18 points per game, 7 rebounds. One thing I don't like about Porzingis is the fact that he only averages 7 rebounds per game. This is sort of like Al Horford. Al Horford is literally averaging 6 rebounds per game, and he's 6'11". Now take 6'11", add 4 inches, and you're only averaging 1 more rebound. That doesn't make sense. You need to average at least 10 rebounds. There's no excuse to why Kevin Love is averaging more rebounds than you. There's no excuse to why you're not leading the league in rebounds. There's no excuse why Hassan Whiteside has more rebounds, Andre Drummond, Greg Monroe. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that LeBron James is averaging more rebounds than you. It doesn't make sense that Carmelo Anthony is averaging pretty much the same amount of rebounds as you. That doesn't make sense. You need to box out, stop standing on the perimeter and watching shots go up, follow the ball, box out, and the Knicks would be better if you could get more rebounds. Because honestly, you could jump over everyone. I see you do it all the time. It's just when people shoot the basketball, it's just like you just watch the basketball. Go after it. Go hustle for it. If Porzingis can do that and improve, because since January he's been playing awful, if he can improve and go back to up to around 20 points per game, we'll be good. Derrick Rose has been playing solid, 18 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4.5 assists. He needs to be more of a playmaker instead of a scorer first point guard with Melo on this team. The only times where he needs to be aggressive in terms of scoring is when Melo is off the floor, which is good because Hornacek is actually balancing out when Melo's off and when Derrick Rose is on, which is a good thing. So that's good. Courtney Lee, averaging 10 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, as a really good. He's shooting 42% from 3, and he takes like 4 of them per game. So this guy's having a pretty good season, in my honest opinion. He's a great perimeter defender. He's a shooter, and like he showed against the Atlanta Hawks, he can take over when he needs to, when Melo and Rose are off the floor, or KP is off the floor, which is going to be rare, but he can show up in those big moments and hit that clutch shot. Brandon Jennings, again, starter for his entire career, coming off the bench, 8 points per game, 5 assists. Great playmaker. He just needs to slow down. If he can slow down and play, have less turnovers and just play better in general. Now, I know he's only averaging 2 turnovers per game, but the turnovers that he has are very costly turnovers, or it's not a turnover where it'll count as a turnover. For example, we'll be down by 10. We go on a run, we're down by 6. Okay, all smart shots. Melo hits a post shot, Derrick Rose hits a layup, KP hits a dunk, whatever. All smart shots. But then Brandon Jennings will come down the court, and he's literally a defender in his face and throw a 3 up for no reason. For no reason. And it'll brick, and the team will get the rebound, and it's a long rebound because it'll hit the front of the rim. They'll get the rebound. Oh, guess what? They have numbers on the fast break transition. Guess what? Now they have a basket. Bye-bye run. I see that too often with Brandon Jennings. If he can stop that, that'd be much better. Much, much better for this team. Joakim Noah. He's limited minutes right now at 22 minutes per game, which is a good thing. And Kyle Quinn has actually been starting lately over him, which is, not a bad thing because Kyle Quinn, in my opinion, has improved so much in terms of his shooting ability, his passing ability, his playmaking ability, his passing ability, his everything. He's an improved, great role player for this team. Justin Holiday, great defender, great shooter for us, just coming off the bench. Hernan Gomez and Kuzminskis, they're good players, but what I notice is their confidence is not up there. You are in the NBA for a reason, okay? I understand you're playing at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the world. I understand that. But Kuzminskis and Hernan Gomez, you guys are in the NBA for a reason. There's no need to be nervous. The fans got your back. We got your back. You need to have confidence in yourself. And that's why I think they struggle in games. If you notice, they make silly mistakes. For example, they'll miss wide open layups. They'll make stupid passes. They hesitate on passes, hesitates on shot. It looks like they're shaking all the time. I don't know why they're so scared. You've had, 50 plus games now already in a Knicks uniform. We have your back as Knicks fans. Okay, so there's no need to be worried. Okay, and Ron Baker, he has to go. Sasha Vujacic, he has to go. Marshall Plumlee, he has to go. Endor, they're all just fillers. But if we can get some better role players, like again, the Cavaliers were smart. They picked up Derrick Williams, someone that the Knicks should have kept because he was an energy guy. But we just need more role players, more defenders, more shooters, and the Knicks should be good. Overall, the Knicks have a solid core. A solid core roster. They're just missing a few more role players and just confidence, man. If this team can get on a run and start winning games, I think the New York Knicks can make the playoffs easily make the playoffs. Anyway, guys, it's been Steve. I hope you guys enjoyed, and especially led by Carmelo Anthony, by the way. It's been Steve. I'm out. Peace.